In this video, you will see how you can take your hair from this and turn it into this in under 6 minutes instantly using this tool. This is the Greatlocs crochet hook, and you need this tool to instantly lock up your hair. So let's start with your hair. Grab a section, comb out that section, make sure it's clean. And once you have that section, you're ready to instantly lock up your hair. Now, to show that I'm not exaggerating, I put a timer at the bottom left of the screen, and as I start crochet hooking, the timer starts. So if your dreadlocks are frizzy, or if you even want to start dreadlocks, you can use this tool to instantly lock up your hair. Alright guys, and right there you have it, only 5 minutes and 48 seconds. And you can do this on yourself as well. Now if you want the Greatlocs crochet hook, make sure to click the link down below, and you'll be able to easily transform your hair into dreadlocks, or even just fix up the dreadlocks that you have. And if you want to know about the bundle deal, wait till the end of the video. Hey, what is going on everybody? Welcome back to an episode of Greatlocs. I'm Gunther the Great, and today we're going to be talking about Nate Robinson's dreadlocks. Now we've seen that Nate Robinson recently fought Jake Paul and was knocked out, but that's besides the point. We're going to be talking about his dreadlocks today. And I would honestly say that he has kind of a mix of traditional dreadlocks and kind of like a semi-freeform or very unique style of dreadlocks. And we'll look at that in today's video. But since I've never done a video on Nate Robinson, I want to talk a little bit about his background as far as hair type and so on and so forth. And the reason we talk about hair type is because it helps you understand how that person got their dreadlocks, or what method they chose, what maintenance they're doing. So this applies to you if you have, say you have a 3B hair type, or in this case, Nate Robinson, he has about a 4B hair type. Could be into the 4C, and you're really splitting hairs at that point. When it comes to hair types like 4B, even 4A or 4C, anything in the 4 range is very easy to lock up. As the hair types get lower, it takes a little bit longer and a little bit more patience, and you could even say that it's a little harder for the hair to lock up, but it is possible on every single hair type. So with Nate Robinson being at a 4B, it makes it very easy for him to actually get dreadlocks. And like I mentioned earlier on, he does have somewhat of a traditional style of dreadlocks. And anytime I say traditional, it really just means like a twisting with gel style. Nothing too significant about them, because we see so many people with this style of dreadlocks. Now, he does have a high top fade, which makes the dreadlocks overall look a lot cleaner and just adds a little bit more style. So if you're ever looking for a way to add style to your dreadlocks, say you have a full set of dreads, maybe you do have a taper fade or like a front taper, but you don't have a high top fade, I think a high top fade just gives it that extra push to a little bit more style. And not only that, it allows you to style your hair even different than if you were to have a full set of dreads. But I mentioned in a recent video that if you do a high top fade or you do a tapered hairline and then some sort of style on top of that, it just takes your dreadlocks to a whole nother level versus just having, just standard dreadlocks. Another thing that you can notice about Nate Robinson's dreadlocks is that he does have dyed tips, and some of them are actually dyed more than others. And this is very easy to do. It's just done by bleaching the hair. And he didn't leave the bleach in that long. That's why you have that copper or the orange tone. But you can see how clean that skin fade is, and it's a high top fade. And overall, I really like the 4B and the 4C hair type, or just anything in the 4 range that can allow you to have a bunch of dreadlocks, because although he does have a high top set of dreads, he does still have a lot of dreadlocks up there. One thing my son asked me the other day is if he could get skinnier dreadlocks or even have more dreadlocks. And the issue is that he has about a 2C hair type, which doesn't really allow you to create that many dreadlocks, or even at that point, skinny dreadlocks, which it is possible. But if you create skinny dreadlocks, you still can't add to them. So to make a little bit more sense, I'll put it this way. The more dense your hair is, and the more tighter your curl pattern is, you can have skinnier dreadlocks, and that allows for more dreadlocks, because skinnier sections means that you're using less hair for each lock. So in the end, you're gonna have skinnier plus more dreadlocks. So if you do it correctly, the skinnier the dreadlocks, the more you'll have. The thicker the dreadlocks, the less you'll have. And I know that seems pretty straightforward, but a lot of people have that question. Now, during the beginning stages of Nate Robinson's dreadlocks, we didn't see him do too many styles, and that's really to be expected. During that first few months, maybe even that first year, you typically don't do that many styles because your hair is either not long enough or it's not mature enough to actually do any of the styles that you would like to. Because believe it or not, there are a bunch of styles that your hair needs to be mature in order for it to actually look right or even sit right. But on the flip side of that coin is that if you do certain hairstyles like braiding or 2-strand twist, that actually assists the locking process, which is good. One of the number one things that I've noticed about Nate Robinson's dreadlocks is that you never really see him with a very clean and very fresh retwist. And that's one thing you'll notice about the 4 range hair types, is that they don't really require much maintenance, but at the same time, if you don't do maintenance, it shows. And that's why you notice that his dreadlocks are kind of bulky, even though they are skinny. It's because there's not a whole bunch of twisting going on, even though that's most likely the way that he started his dreadlocks. One thing that we have seen him doing recently is just kind of pulling dreadlocks and either having it in one ponytail on top of his head. But like we see in this photo, we see him with the 4 pigtails, and he has been wearing it like this pretty often. And I think it's just to keep the hair out of his face. And this is like the stage to where once your dreadlocks start passing your eyes, then it can be a little bit annoying if you don't know how to take care of actually pulling it up out of your eyes. Because at this length, your hair just doesn't want to lay back on its own. It wants to always fall in front of your face. So finding ways, just like how Nate Robinson has it in this picture, is important, especially if you don't want to be annoyed by your hair all the time. Another thing to note is that if he were to keep his hair in these rubber bands for a long amount of time, they would eventually turn into congos, and then eventually that would turn into just wicks, really big dreadlocks. And it would just be 4 if you were to keep it in this style. And that's something that you guys can know as well. If you want to combine locks, all you have to do is use rubber bands. And of course, there's other ways like crochet hooking, tying it with rope, and so on and so forth. But this is one option that if you wanted to combine dreadlocks. But yeah, guys, overall, Nate Robinson has a pretty cool set of dreadlocks. Like I said, they are quite traditional, especially with the way that he started them and how they look. But even though if you have traditional dreadlocks, there's certain styles that you can do that make them look a little bit more unique. Like how we've seen him do the 4 pigtails, or even just with the back up and then the front down, or even with the front up and the back down, which we've seen it like that before as well. And one thing I want to point out is that Nate Robinson is a very active person. Obviously, he plays basketball, and then we've seen him training for boxing and everything like that. So he's very active. One thing to take from that is that you can be very active and sweat and so on and so forth with your dreadlocks. All you have to do is just keep them up and washed. A lot of people always have that question is, what if I'm very active? Can I still wash my hair? Yes, you can still wash your dreadlocks, but just know that sometimes when you wash your hair, it might unravel or it might puff up. And that's what maintenance is there for. Anytime that you wash your hair, you always maintain it afterward. And washing is a form of maintenance. So it all goes together to help mature your dreadlocks. But you guys, that's today's video. Make sure to go shop at greatlocs.com if you want any dreadlock tools, because you guys seen at the beginning of this video how easy it is to actually use the tools that are provided on greatlocs.com. Also, make sure to subscribe to my main channel if you want to stay updated with my dreadlock journey, because I just started about a month ago. I'm coming up on my 1 month update, so that video will be dropping really soon. But guys, other than that, comment down below who you'd like to see next. Give this video a thumbs up if it helped you out, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. So you can see how just a little bit of time can actually give you instant dreadlocks. So right here is evidence that you can get dreadlocks instantly just by using this tool. If you want to take it a step further and handle those overgrown roots, then you want to use the Greatlocs interlocking tool. All you have to do is make a couple passes through your roots, and your roots are maintained just the way that you want them to be. And this is even easier because it only takes about 30 seconds each dreadlock. All you have to do is make a couple passes until your roots are as tight as you would like, and then you're done. And just like that, guys, a full head of dreadlocks is completed, and you can do this yourself on yourself. And in total, this will only take an afternoon of your time. So you can have the dreadlocks you want and you create them yourself in only 1 day for under $20 versus spending hundreds to even thousands of dollars on a loctician to do your dreadlocks for you. So make sure to order yourself the Greatlocs locking bundle by clicking the link down below. And make sure to use code GREAT at checkout to get 10% off your first order.